Hello. Today's stories come from r/relationships. We have a single long Reddit story today with a lot of updates. I think this one has been covered by others, but I haven't covered it while waiting for the final update. And lucky us, it just dropped. Story 1 is titled, Am I the butthole for predetermining my baby's sex? Sorry if the title isn't great. I had a hard time coming up with something that would make sense. Hopefully it does, and it's not misleading. Okay, to start, me, 27-year-old female, and my husband, 28-year-old male, have been married for 4 years. His parents, his mother specifically, and I have never had any problems. But we've never quite meshed or seen eye to eye. We've always got along and been civil. Our future family has been the talk for years. My husband will be the last of his siblings to have children. All of his siblings have at least one. It's been a running joke in the family that if our first happens to be a girl, she won't be accepted because everyone else had a boy for a firstborn. The joke has never sat quite right with me, but I've laughed it off because I don't want to start anything and maybe I'm just being sensitive. Fast forward to a few months ago when we started trying. It took about 3 months for me to get pregnant. We tracked my cycle and had scheduled sex for the best chance. Infertility runs in my family, and my hubby and I agreed on a big family. So I've been worried about starting a family so late in the game. When I did get pregnant, we were overjoyed. We had all the typical couple conversations that come with having a baby: the excitement, names, nursery ideas, gender predictions, etc. We talked about wanting a son first so he could be the big, strong leader for all his younger siblings and carry on the family name. A very big deal to him, instilled by his parents. I expressed my desire to have a little girl I could dress up and match with. It became a playful banter. He'd refer to the baby as son, and I would call the baby our daughter. About a week before our gender scan, I searched up all the old wives' tales and made us a chart we could fill out together to see who would hypothetically win our little bet. It included the ring test, Chinese horoscope, heartbeat, cravings, etc. The results ended up being 50-50 in the end, which made us more excited to find out for certain at our scan. The following week, we went to our appointment and discovered that our baby was a girl. We were both extremely excited. Hubby was disappointed to lose, but told me he was overjoyed to be raising a daughter by my side. That night, we called our families to share the news. After calling his family, his mother asked to speak to him privately. I went to bed alone as their conversation carried on for well over an hour. The following morning, I woke up alone. There was a note on my husband's nightstand explaining that someone would be by the house to pick up his belongings later this evening. I immediately tried to call him only to realize he had blocked my number. I then tried his mom. His mother picked up on the first ring. Before I had the chance to get a word in, she started chewing me out, calling me a manipulative witch. I asked her what I had done, and she told me I'd ruined her son's reputation with my inexcusable behaviors and tendencies. I let her finish her rant before kindly asking her what the frack she was talking about. She told me the divorce papers were already written up and I wouldn't have the chance to tear apart the family like I had been intending to do all this time. I again, slightly less kindly this time, asked her what the F she was talking about, to which she told me my husband would be leaving me because our child is a girl. I was gobsmacked. I explained to her that it takes two to tango and there's no way to truly decide the gender of the baby. If her or her son had an issue with the gender, it was his fault as it's his chromosome that determines the gender. But she had proof that I'd handpicked to have a girl. Like I said before, we used a calendar to determine which days would be best for sex. Well, mother in law accused me of forcing him to do it with me on the specific day which the Chinese horoscope would point to a girl. She also interrogated me on the coital position we used to conceive, which I gave her a piece of my mind, told her that was none of her business. She smugly informed me my husband had already told her, and the position we used makes it 60% more likely to have a girl that way. If anyone's currently trying for a girl, specifically doing reverse cowgirl sometime in the middle of February should be the trick every time, apparently. She finished off by telling me that my clear preference for my family name was disgusting, and she was glad to finally be rid of me and my manipulative ways before hanging up. I've had no contact with my husband since, and it's been over a month. He's blocked me on everything. I can't help but feel that this hasn't all been his choice. But then again, he's a fully grown adult, so I can't imagine his mother controlling him like that. I've been staying with my sister since it all went down. She says I can stay as long as I need, but I'm thinking I want to get my own place, maybe even a few states away. What do I do? Should I pack up and move on? Should I continue trying to contact my husband? Any advice would be appreciated. First update 2 days later. Thank you all for all the love. It means so much to me right now. I'd also like to add that I've seen a few comments about my story being copied. It breaks my heart to think of anyone else having to go through something similar. My heart goes out to them. Also, I should have mentioned originally that I had a gut feeling to record the call with my mother in law, so I have all of that on hand if it's needed in the future. I'm planning to try catching my husband on his way out of work sometime next week. I'd like to hear his side of the story. I've decided, however, that if there is any saving our relationship, I'll be changing my last name back to my maiden name. Our daughter will be taking my last name, or at the very least, have a hyphenated name. Call me feminist or whatnot, but it will be non negotiable. I'll also be requiring many boundaries between me and his mother. She will not be in my child's life until she can find it in her to apologize to me sincerely and change her attitude towards us. Second update, July 21st, 2022. Wow, I honestly haven't been on Reddit at all since my last update because, well, growing a human is hard as it is, and then add my crazy life on top of it. But after getting hundreds of emails from Reddit today, I realized it must have been shared somewhere else to be blowing up like this. Now that there's so many of you, I figure I owe you all an update, so here it is. Hopefully, I can get this all typed out in a way that makes sense. Even though it's been a few weeks since this all went down, I'm still in shock. I haven't been able to collect my thoughts. Let's just blame it on the pregnancy brain and pretend that my life isn't falling apart before my own eyes. I was able to catch my husband as he was leaving work one night and got his side of the story out of him, like I had hoped. As suspected, he admitted that he was excited for a baby girl, and after speaking to his mom, she forced him to leave and block me. His mother already had the divorce papers ready to go. I tried to tell him that we could fix this. We could raise our daughter together away from his mother. I know I sound loopy in the head and naive for this, but I grew up in a household without a father figure. I was hopeful my daughter could have a different home life experience than what I had. Not to discredit my mother. She's a bad to the bone woman, and I hope I can be half of the woman she is for my daughter one day. Anyway, my husband had none of it. He said that he realized how conniving and manipulative and abusive I had been throughout our entire relationship, and he did want to actually go through with the divorce. He said he'd have no problem giving me full custody of the thing that's growing inside of me. That's when I lost all hope. Frack him. I have no problem leaving a man who's so easily brainwashed by his mother like that. I'll raise this baby alone. That's bad enough, but here's the real icing on the cake. I received a phone call from my soon to be ex husband's brother's wife. We've always been quite close, and she's been my saving grace throughout my pregnancy, giving me all the tips for nausea, etc. She has three of her own, two boys and a girl. Anyway, she informed me over the phone that she overheard a conversation at Sunday dinner that mother in law and husband are trying to blindside me in court to take full custody. I was livid, full on, seeing red. I called mother in law straight away and demanded to speak to my husband. All he had to say for himself was that he realized he didn't want any of his offspring to be raised by such a manipulative freak, and even though he doesn't actually want her, he's sure he can grow to love her again. I'm not sure what to do at this point. I know I have a good case for myself, but I'm terrified they'll win the battle and take everything from me. It brings tears to my eyes thinking about my daughter growing up somewhere where she isn't loved. Even if custody is split 50-50, I'll have no control over the lies they're guaranteed to feed her. My emotions are going haywire trying to write all this out, so I think I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you for all of the love and support you all have shown me and my baby girl. The internet can truly be an amazing place. Edit. Adding that my brother in law and his wife are planning on leaving the family dynamic after seeing the way I've been treated. They have a daughter of their own, and while she's been accepted as she wasn't the firstborn, they're very uncomfortable with the toxicity within the family. Brother in law is the firstborn, and I think the what ifs are screwing with his head. Also, had no idea I submitted this to a podcast subreddit. My original post kept getting taken down on Am I the Butthole, and my sister recommended I post it where I did. If somebody wants to send me a link to listen, I would be interested to hear it. Although, please spare me the details if it's negative. I don't know if my heart can take it. Edit. The husband responded in the comments and wrote the following in response to OP. What the heck is wrong with you, Aspen? I loved you and I loved our daughter. You paint me out to be such a malicious villain, and none of these pea-brain people on the internet can see through them lies. Manipulation at its finest. You were such a cold-hearted witch, our whole gosh darn lie of a relationship. And when we were trying to get pregnant, everything was about you. I can't believe it took me so long to see every single sign. You were so dang obsessive over your stupid calendar, and we hardly ever used it. You always say you aren't in the mood, or we did it yesterday. I'm too tired. We can skip a day. It was never about me or my feelings. And then when you actually got pregnant, it became even more about you. I'm not eating eggs anymore. They make me sick. I don't want to go to Sunday dinner. I'm not up to it tonight. Let's not get sushi for dinner because it's bad for the baby. I was so fracking nice to you, Aspen. I literally doted on you like a fracking Prince Charming, and you never even recognized me. I can't believe you string me along all those years. F you and F the fetus. I'm sick of your games. I can't fracking believe I found out about this post on a podcast my girlfriend listens to. You betray me one dang month until you lose it all like I did. See you in court, witch. Edit. OP did not respond until the next update. OP posted an update on July 22nd, 2022. Thank you so much for all your support. I've been in contact with my lawyer about how best to proceed. I'm not allowed to give any more information at this point in time, but I've seen all of your messages and I'm so grateful for all of the advice and care being sent our way. I have a very good lawyer working with me, and both me and baby are and will be safe through the coming months. Once again, thank you all so much for your kindness. It's helped me feel somewhat sane through all of this and made me realize that I am entitled to feel the ways I'm feeling. You've truly given me a community where people have my back and truly want what's best for me. I'll be logging off until things have settled and baby is born. Maybe I'll return for a final update at some point, but for now, I'm focusing on my own health and the health of my baby as I prepare for the courtroom. Posted in r/divorce on October 10, 2022. Looking for advice. Looking for some advice from some fellow divorced moms. I'm currently going through an extremely messy divorce. I'm 28 and almost 35 weeks pregnant with our first baby. I'm not sure if it's the hormones or just the situation in general, but I'm really anxious about what the future holds for me and this little babe. I've been married to this man for 4 years and known him much longer, and I can't even fathom getting back into the world of dating again, especially as a single mom. I'm not planning on dating anytime soon, but every time I think about it, I get so overwhelmed with anxiety. I'd like to have more kids in the future, a happy, healthy family, but I can't imagine myself getting into another serious relationship, especially having children with someone else after the crap my soon to be ex blindsided me with after I got pregnant. I'm going to therapy and working through things, but I just can't stop worrying. I know everything is still fresh. I should just ride it out, but it's so hard to let go of. My whole life was ripped away from me, and it feels like I had been living a lie. Has anyone else been through this? I could really use some reassurance and advice right now. Final update December 15, 2022. Hi, everyone. I ended up deleting the app for a while, but now that I'm feeling settled again, I figured I owe it to all of you to give one final update. First off, I won the court case. It was a long and draining road, and I won't go into a ton of detail, privacy and legal reasons, but it was all thanks to Reddit. Someone connected me to a great lawyer, and everything worked out exactly the way it needed to. I owe it all to you guys. Thank you so, so much. And second, I gave birth to my sweet baby girl just a few short weeks ago. She is perfect and everything I needed. Babies heal the soul more than you could ever imagine. I couldn't have done it all without my sister cheering me on through everything. There have been lots of messages and questions in my inbox lately, so I'll do my best to answer all that I possibly can. Newborn life. But just know I'm thankful to every single one of you for the endless support. I truly believe this app saved mine and my baby girl's lives. Wow, you really have to wonder if there were any red flags ahead of the pregnancy. I mean, if OP's mother in law had this much sway over OP's husband, you'd think it would have shown up earlier. It's also super telling that OP's ex brother in law and wife are pulling the pin. At least they'll have one another. The comments on this were so good. We'll quickly read two small additional pieces of information from OP before getting to some unexpected funny. High Rise Girl said, "Can you spill the tea on how your ex mother in law reacted when you won your case? Please tell me she had a humiliating breakdown. Any juicy details you can mention, please do. Congratulations on your baby girl." OP replied, "Her reaction was pathetic, to say the least. Sobbed uncontrollably and called me every insult she could possibly think of as I left. It gave me secondhand embarrassment, to say the least. The judge wasn't taking any of her BS from the second our case started. Very satisfying, to say the least." LOL. Hot Rose said, "Congrats on your baby and winning the case, but I want to ask, Does your husband have 50-50 rights? Do you have full custody? And is he even allowed to visit her at all without being supervised? OP replied, I have full custody. He has no rights to her whatsoever. In response to, I have full custody, he has no rights to her whatsoever, Back to Tank said, I'm guessing they sent some pretty incriminating texts and messages. I also get the impression that they wouldn't have conceded custody if for any reason except to spite her. You basically don't get full custody unless one parent concedes or the judge finds a compelling reason. Chromatica added, sounds like she knew to record everything from the get go, so there's probably heaps of slander, harassment, and other evidence that his family doesn't actually care for this child, least of all calling it a fetus on Reddit. Meat Tunnel added, imagine being such a piece of crap that you've demonstrated to courts you're an unfit parent before the baby is even out of the womb. This man and his mom are wild. Thalassophobic Whale said, Judge, sir, you want full custody. Why? Ex-husband, she predetermined the sex of our baby and made it a girl against my family's long-standing misogynistic traditions. Judge, please elaborate. Ex-husband, observe. Judge, I award full custody to OP. Mr. Minor said, this might just be me, but if you're getting a new girlfriend weeks after surprising your wife with divorce, your new girlfriend is not, in fact, new. Snewards added, she was waiting in the wings thanks to mother-in-law, I am sure. This is the perfect girlfriend for you. I can control her for you. Sleepless in Vancouver replied, the lawful good side of me hopes this poor girlfriend gets the heck out of there. Dude and his whole family, aside from the brother-in-law and sister-in-law who actually have sense, are insane. However, the chaotic evil in me hopes the girlfriend ends up pregnant with a baby girl too. If you've enjoyed the story and would like to hear more, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Thanks, and bye for now.